Outside, the sharp and freezing breath of winter holds dominion. As the wind brushes through the branches of trees, it seems to carry whispers from distant galaxies. The rustling of leaves echoes in the ears like an ancient song transmitted from the infinite depths of the cosmos. The sky drapes over us like a deep and dark silken cloth, and within this endless blackness, the stars sparkle like grains of diamond scattered from the hand of a giant. When one lifts one's gaze to that obscurity, the unshakable stability beneath one's feet begins to develop faint cracks. We perpetually regard ourselves as beings anchored to solid ground, mistaking the Earth for a sphere peacefully suspended in mid-air by invisible threads. Yet the truth is far colder and more shocking than this romantic depiction. For millions of years, the Earth has murmured sweet falsehoods into our ears, falsehoods that constitute one of the universe's greatest secrets. When Albert Einstein drew back the veil on this mystery and shook the foundations of the world, humanity's secure harbor transformed in an instant into an infinite abyss. In this bottomless chasm, there is no absolute up or down, no fixed direction, and no floor upon which to fall. The notion of falling downward is merely an illusion crafted within our minds by that cunning force known as gravity. Nature bestows upon us a false sense of security while orchestrating a dramatic and boundless adventure in the background. Imagine gliding in one direction for billions of light years, passing through vast galaxies dancing in golden light, entering realms dominated by absolute silence and the shadows of death. Yet one never collides with a wall. The universe is a hall without walls, an infinite labyrinth without beginning or end. Here, everything drifts in astonishing freedom. If there is no down, then why does the Earth not get swept away into the deep shadows of the cosmos? Why does it orbit the sun like a loyal soldier? The answer to this question evokes a faint tremor of captivity within the human soul, yet it simultaneously harbors a mystical beauty. The Earth is not peacefully adrift as we might suppose. Rather, it tumbles at a breathtaking speed within an invisible and profound pit spread out beneath the sun. This pit is not fashioned from soil or matter. It is a curve etched into the very fabric of space and time. Modern science, drawing upon data gathered by institutions such as the National Aeronautics and Space Administration and the European Space Agency from ancient rocks and deep space probes, particularly the captivating images recently captured by the James Webb Space Telescope, has rendered this truth even more vivid. A supermassive black hole fleeing at 2,200,000 miles per hour between galaxies, protoplanetary nebulae enduring the agonies of birth, and colossal structures voraciously growing a mere 570 million years after the Big Bang. All of these serve as evidence for that renowned space-time continuum to which Einstein devoted his life. Our blue planet has slid ceaselessly within this immense funnel for 4.5 billion years, yet it never escapes outward. To comprehend this secret, let us turn the dusty pages of time back 300 years to a serene afternoon in England. Isaac Newton sat beneath an apple tree, listening to the whispers of leaves, when he observed a ripe apple detach from its branch and descend to the ground. In that moment, his mind quivered with this question: why did the apple not ascend to the heavens? Why did it not remain suspended in the air? Newton concluded the existence of an invisible force drawing the apple toward the center of the Earth, namely universal gravitation. Mathematically, he was correct. Masses love one another, and as the distance between them increases, this love diminishes but never vanishes entirely. However, Newton left humanity without a profound explanation of this force's essence. How can a force traverse millions of kilometers of void without any cable or medium to pull celestial bodies? This question haunted the scientific community like a specter for 2 centuries, under the flickering light of gas lamps where researchers greeted the dawn. Then, in 1915, Albert Einstein, a Swiss patent office clerk with disheveled hair and profound gaze, stepped onto the stage. The claim he cast forth was astonishing: gravity does not exist as a force in the sense we imagine. Consider the space around us as an infinite, flat, and flexible sheet that trembles lightly with the breath of the universe. Place a heavy iron ball symbolizing the sun upon this sheet, and it sinks, forming a dizzying pit at the center that engulfs everything. Now toss a small marble representing the Earth onto this sheet. The marble will not remain still. It will be drawn into the pit, rolling along the incline as if following a quiet melody to meet the sun. If the marble were at rest, it would plummet directly to the center and be swallowed in a colossal collision. But if it possesses sufficient horizontal velocity, it does not fall straight. Instead, it begins to circle the pit, commencing an infinite dance. Our Earth is precisely that small glass marble. The Sun's mass is 330,000 times that of the Earth, bending the surrounding spacetime so powerfully that everything must submit to this slope. The Earth is not tethered by a rope. It merely follows its straight path within the curved void, like a ship gliding over storm-tossed waves. The most compelling evidence for this mad idea came from the astronomer Arthur Eddington in 1919. During that dark eclipse, when the sun was fully obscured and the wind whispered gently, he observed light from distant stars bending as it passed near the sun. Rays of light always yearn to travel straight as an arrow, but when the path itself, that is, space, curves, they too must follow the bend. Einstein was right. Space is not an empty stage for the performance of planets, it is a fabric that can change shape, bend, and even tear. Today's scientists, armed with laser interferometers in vast observatories, capture those faint vibrations from the depths of space-time known as gravitational waves. These waves are like the echoes of a clock spreading through the cosmos from the collisions of immense black holes. By 2025, the Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory, Virgo, and Kamioka Gravitational Wave Detector Observatories have recorded events previously unseen, second-generation black hole mergers, gravitational storms from neutron star explosions, and the universe's most ancient supernovae. These data prove that the universe is a grand and vibrating orchestra, and gravity is not a mere bending but a rippling symphony. If we are sliding within this deep pit, why then does the Earth not ultimately get swallowed by the sun's infinite flames? Why does it maintain this safe distance for billions of years? The answer tests the limits of human comprehension, yet it lies concealed within that terrifying velocity which accelerates the heartbeat merely to contemplate. According to the latest data from the National Aeronautics and Space Administration and the European Space Agency, the Earth races along its current orbit at approximately 29.8 kilometers per second. Feel the magnitude of this: a rifle bullet travels at 1 kilometer per second, yet the Earth moves at 30 times that speed. At this velocity, one could circumnavigate the entire globe in a mere 7 minutes. It is this enormous kinetic energy that provides the balance preventing us from plunging into the sun's pit. We are in fact falling ceaselessly, but we move sideways so swiftly that we miss the target each time. The result is an eternal orbit tracing a nearly perfect ellipse at a distance of 150 million kilometers. Imagine a divine hand suddenly applying the brakes, halting the Earth in its place. This would be a catastrophe beyond words. The atmosphere would ignite with a deafening roar, oceans would transform into vast clouds of steam, and every trace of civilization would melt away in a hellfire of millions of degrees. According to physical models, our planet would collide with the Sun in approximately 65 days. Fortunately, the perfect vacuum of the universe harbors no friction to obstruct this path. There is no air resistance, no matter to slow us. Our current velocity is a legacy from the birth of the solar system. 4.5 billion years ago, in a distant corner of the Milky Way, a vast cloud of gas and dust began to collapse under its own weight. As particles drew nearer, they commenced rotation with the quiet whisper of creation. Like an ice skater drawing in her arms to spin faster, the nebula increased its rotational speed dramatically as it contracted. The Earth was born from those rotating remnants, carrying that initial acceleration to this day. Our existence is not mere chance but the result of merciless selection. In the solar system's early days, thousands of planetary prototypes and rocky fragments vied for position. Those too swift escaped the sun's embrace, becoming rogue planets in the frozen darkness of the cosmos. Those too slow turned to ash within the sun's space-time pit. The Earth is the most fortunate survivor at that perfect speed, not fast enough to flee, not slow enough to fall. As in Newton's famous thought experiment, a cannonball fired from a mountain peak at 7.9 kilometers per second falls at the same rate as the Earth's curvature and never strikes the ground. It becomes a satellite. Such is the relationship between Earth and Sun. We fall toward the Sun every moment, but our lateral velocity deprives it of the target. Will this balance endure eternally? No, the universe is ever in motion. The Earth drifts away from the Sun by approximately 1.5 centimeters each year. The Sun loses mass through nuclear reactions and solar wind, causing the spacetime pit to shallow gradually. Yet considering the 150 million kilometer distance, this figure is like a drop in the ocean. The true threat will arise from the Sun itself in about 5 billion years. As hydrogen depletes, the Sun will swell like a weary giant, transforming into a red giant that engulfs Mercury, Venus, and perhaps Earth. New discoveries from the James Webb Space Telescope regarding distant supernovae and the weakening of energy maxima whisper that the universe's future may differ from what we thought, perhaps cycling toward an end rather than infinite expansion. Why, then, do we feel such profound stillness at home while this immense sphere races at 30 kilometers per second? Why does coffee not spill, and why do we sense no subtle tremor in sleep? Because the atmosphere, mountains, oceans, and you yourself move at the same speed. One feels as if in one's drawing room unless gazing out a window at 10,000 meters altitude in an aeroplane. The Earth is a perfect spaceship, gliding through the silence of vacuum without acceleration or deceleration. This tremor-free serenity is the outcome of physics' most rigorous laws. While the curvature of spacetime binds us, our own inertia sets us free. Yet this peaceful cocoon is in truth part of a far more complex journey. Zooming out from the solar system to behold the larger picture reveals that elliptical dance as a mere simplified cross-section. The Sun is not fixed. It is the captain of a fleet of light, moving through the Milky Way galaxy at over 700,000 kilometers per hour. The Earth not only orbits it but follows along in a spiral path. Our trace left in the cosmos resembles a colossal drill of light piercing the galactic night. Every second, we are swept to a point never before occupied. When one places a coffee cup on the table and lifts it again a second later, one has advanced hundreds of kilometers in absolute space. Peace is in reality the most beautiful illusion of immense inertia. In this maze of forces, the Earth is not alone. The Moon, that quiet and loyal companion, plays a pivotal role in our ship's balance. Consider the Earth as a spinning top. Without the Moon's elegant gravitational counter-effect, the influences of Jupiter and Saturn would cause the axis to wobble madly, turning poles into equators and ushering in climatic apocalypse. The Moon fixes the renowned 23.5-degree tilt, enabling the formation of seasons and the flourishing of life. Yet this protection is not eternal. Due to tidal friction, the Moon recedes from us by 3.8 centimeters each year. Days lengthen gradually, and the planet wearies. We dwell in the most golden epoch of cosmic history, that miraculous instant when everything fits precisely. This knowledge does not diminish the sacred beauty of existence, rather, it deepens our awe. Why are we here? How did lifeless laws conspire so precisely to forge an environment where consciousness could sprout? Each night, as darkness envelops all and stars sparkle like inviting lights, we gaze through the window of a moving ship into the void. Those points of light are other suns, other space-time pits, other travelers migrating through the galactic night with their own fleets. Perhaps on another world, another being regards our Sun as a faint dot and wonders if anyone there joins in this dance. The Earth's cosmic solitude is sublime. Separated by light years, yet connected by the language of curves, inertia, and falling. Look down at your feet. Beneath that solid crust upon which cities are built, the Earth's molten iron core rotates, generating a vast magnetic shield that protects us from the lethal arrows of solar wind. We are safeguarded from without and within, from above and below. Life is like an acrobat walking a taut rope between two abysses, on one side, the chaos of void, on the other, inevitable collapse. Yet we do not tremble. We transform that tightrope into a stage, that infinite falling into a journey of discovery. When we say we stand upon the ground, it is a noble falsehood. In truth, we fly, we glide, we partake in that grand adventure commencing with the Big Bang and concluding behind the veil of time. In that peaceful moment in the garden, the whispers of wind and leaves are in fact the product of exquisitely precise energies. Wind arises from temperature differences wrought by sunlight, and green leaves devour photons arriving from 150 million kilometers away. Everything is so quiet that the earth does not let us feel its mad race. Within this silence, human intellect transcends the limits of senses. Eyes perceive the earth as stationary, but the mind knows its rotation. The body mistakes the sun for rising and setting, but consciousness understands we submit to that glorious star. This recognition is the pinnacle of the journey. Now we are not passive passengers but explorers who read the ship's course and comprehend how stars advance through the darkness. Infinite falling is not tragedy but evidence of freedom within laws. The universe designs systems, and falling is a mode of being. There is no fixed anchor, only nature's rules. Amid the galactic darkness, carrying love, pain, success, and failure, a strange consolation hides in the soul's depths. Like a child trusting the rope's strength while swinging swiftly on a swing. The earth continues falling, the sun burns, and we sip coffee in the illusion of peace. For we have found rhythm in the universe's immense coldness. The rhythm of falling has transformed into a song of triumph. Where, then, is the end of this path? The universe has no flaw, but there are limits to resistance. Astronomers assert that the universe inclines toward an absolute stillness where heat disperses, stars weary, and the final breath is exhaled. Perhaps not in explosion but in gentle, tragic extinction. The fabric of space expands, threads fatigue. An invisible hand scatters galactic grains like those of a sandcastle. Observations in 2025 reveal the weakening of energy maxima and, instead of infinite expansion, perhaps a great contraction cycling toward an end. The sun, that loyal father, will swell in a final embrace as energy depletes, returning us to the primordial furnace from which we began. In this grand cosmic engraving, the human self is minuscule, yet the capacity to love is astonishingly vast. In a cold universe governed by lifeless laws, that small beings tremble at a flower's beauty or grieve at a friend's pain is the true miracle. Consciousness is the universe's way of observing itself. We are the eyes of the void. Minds that translate physical laws from mere mechanical motion into meaningful experience. If we did not behold those space-time curves and marvel at the Earth's falling, would the universe truly exist? Or would it be merely a vast machine turning in darkness without witness? Our vulnerability endows us with value. We know falling, no star's lights will extinguish, no human memory will be erased by time's waves. Yet we create, hope, record thoughts. Each poem, each composition, is rebellion against the universe's quiet death. We declare to the cosmos, you may be immense and cold, but we are here, we feel, we comprehend your rhythms. The Earth, that sapphire ship, glides silently beneath the stars, inscribing new pages of history. This symphony ends not in terror or screams but in absolute peace, returning to the light from which it began. The firmness beneath our feet is nature's merciful embrace. In truth, we do not fall. We merely return to that eternal nest where the meanings of time and space dissolve, amid the stars. Einstein's invisible pit is not a trap but a cradle that protects, rocks, and nurtures fragile civilization in this dark sea. Like a babe rocked in a cradle into dreamless sleep, we retreat into our small, protected world amid this immense void. Standing at the window, gazing out at that deep and pitch-black sky, what we truly see is the abyss. Yet this abyss exists not to swallow us but to define us. Our hearts build miniature palaces within themselves to avoid being crushed beneath this immensity. The steam from a coffee cup, the warmth of a loved hand, the ancient scent between book pages. These are refuges amid the cosmic storm. The human soul perpetually seeks why against the universe's speechless and deaf vastness. Physical laws can explain why a stone falls, why a star shines, but not why a person yearns, why the heart tightens at a melody. It is at this juncture that another journey commences within the great falling, the labor of inner excavation. As galaxies recede from one another in the heavens, so our inner maps of meaning expand ceaselessly. That once childish arrogance of believing ourselves the center of the world has been replaced by a more mature, sadder, yet far deeper acceptance. We are not protagonists in this immense theater but spectators in the back row, captivated by the play's beauty, occasionally shedding tears. This spectator state is not impotence but the purest form of awareness. Consider atoms gathering through billions of years of chaos, finally assembling into a being that can declare I am here. Calcium in bones, iron in blood, carbon inscribed like tension in every cell. We are children born from the ashes of dead stars. The hot fluid coursing through veins was once forged in the heart of a supernova explosion. Thus, the strange familiarity felt when beholding the night sky is not strangeness but homesickness. We belong there. That cold and dark void is truly our home. Yet this home is inhospitable. The universe's second law, that merciless tendency toward disorder, scatters everything gradually. The aging of buildings, the growing old of humans, even the loss of memories. All the work of the same invisible hand. Energy spreads everywhere, differences erase, and all yearns toward absolute equilibrium, that is, absolute silence. What we call life is a small, stubborn eddy resisting this inevitable flow. Like the tiny backwater pool forming behind a rock in a swiftly flowing river. We are transient, fragile, yet in that brief span we create our rhythms. Our psyche, to cope with this transience, invented the concept of eternity. Art, architecture, love, devised to salvage something from time's all-devouring gears. When a sculptor hammers marble, he does not merely shape a mass of atoms but leaves a memorandum of protest against extinction. When a mother strokes her child's hair, she warms the universe's mechanical coldness for a moment. Love seems the sole energy defying thermodynamics' strict rules. Shared, it does not diminish but increases, it concentrates rather than scatters. Perhaps this is the true gravity holding us in the cosmic abyss. Now, in those misty mornings of 2025, as scientific data debates whether the universe's end is a big freeze or big crunch, we live our daily concerns beneath the shadow of these grand questions. The freshness of bread bought at market, the anger of a missed bus, the light sensation a smile bestows. Are these trivial? Absolutely not. If the universe ultimately turns to a dust cloud and all is forgotten, every lived moment, every felt emotion, becomes a priceless jewel. For that moment alone is now, never to repeat. Amid infinite time, your small gaze through that window is the unique scene where the universe awakens to its own existence. Pause and feel the weight of your being. The invisible curve beneath your feet, the Earth's immense mass drawing you. This is not mere attraction but a declaration of belonging. The Earth says to you, I will not let you go. In this infinite darkness, in that icy void, I will not leave you adrift. I will carry you to my breast. Yet we know the Earth itself is a traveler, orbiting that colossal fireball as if bound by an invisible cord. And the Sun orbits its galactic center, sustaining that dignified dance across thousands of light years. None of us halts. Fixity is merely an error of perspective. In this cosmic dance, humanity's greatest tragedy and greatest strength is knowing the end. Stars shine unaware they will extinguish. Galaxies turn unaware they will scatter. But humans live knowing they will die. This awareness transforms each breath into a miracle. Fear is the byproduct of this knowledge. But courage is born here too. Grasping one another's hands while falling into the unknown, into that immense darkness, is the noblest act observable in this universe. We cling to each other, gliding through the void, warming one another as lanterns with mutual light. The future often resembles a dark room in the modern mind. Climate crisis, technological singularity, resource depletion. All lurk like monsters at the door. Yet recall, our species survived this planet's harshest conditions, ice ages and disasters, not through biological strength alone but through imagination. As long as we can envision the next step, our falling will continue to transform into discovery. Perhaps one day this planet will grow too narrow for us, and we shall hoist sails into that cold sea between stars. We shall test the insurmountable wall of light speed, seeking new paths in time's expanding fabric. Yet wherever we go, what accompanies us is ourselves again. Fear, desire, that endless curiosity. The human mind is no less complex than the outer cosmos. The neural networks of the brain bear astonishing similarity to the universe's vast galactic threads, as if the macrocosm holds a mirror to the microcosm. The depth beheld within is as infinite as the external void. Perhaps the true place to discover is not those light-years distant stars but the forest of darkness and light between these two ears. Thoughts possess their own gravity, like stars. Some weigh us down and burden us, others lighten and lift us to the skies. From the soul's depths, that ancient wise voice always whispers the same, fear not. Foe. If there is no anchor, falling is in truth flying. Our anchors are connections to one another. A friend's voice, a lover's gaze, a stranger's aid. These are the invisible ropes fixing us in the great cosmic void. Time flows. Galaxies recede from one another. Stars send farewell lights, burning the last hydrogen atoms in their cores. We here, upon this sapphire fragile ship, sip coffee. This is not indifference but the art of survival. Before the universe's immensity, we have learned not to shrink but to contain that immensity within. Now we know we are not in the universe. The universe is within us too. Each of us carries an exploding Big Bang inside. Each is the seed of new worlds. In this journey's second act, the light dims slightly, but our vision sharpens. Now we focus not only on external glimmers but on that inextinguishable fire within. Falling continues, yes. But this falling speed is measured by our exhilaration. When all ends one day, when the first flame's last ember extinguishes, what remains is one question: did what you beheld make you happy? And we shall smile quietly as witnesses to this immense beauty, this unbelievable order, this tragic transience. For we were here. We felt. We loved. And most importantly, we succeeded in kindling our light amid this vast and dark void. The ship advances quietly. The future hovers faintly on the horizon like a layer of mist. But our compass is sturdy, curiosity and conscience. These two forces will carry us beyond time to that final destination, that eternal peace where all begins and ends. Now draw a deep breath. The air filling your lungs was once a dinosaur's exhalation or part of a storm over the sea. You are nature's most precious recycled part. Savor the taste of falling. For it is the most glorious spectacle one can behold. The light fades gradually. But this is not the end, it is the beginning of that moment when, blinded by glare, we turn away to see the truth, the real fabric within velvety darkness. The stage curtain does not close, rather, the stage expands to cover every horizon. Now we know that dreaded great silence is not absolute solitude but profound stillness where all reconciles. The universe's immense clock operates with slowness transcending our comprehension, yet with resolute purpose. Stars that once adorned the sky like diamonds close their eyes one by one, like elderly sages exhausting fuel. As light yields to eternal twilight, matter's ambitious and moving nature slows. Heat spread so evenly to every cosmic corner that nothing is hotter or colder than anything else. This is the advent of that universal winter where all speaks the same language, merging into one breath. What scientists term the cessation of energy flow, we call the universe's peaceful repose. Like the vibration lingering in a room after the piano's final key is struck, existence retires into its own echo. Where, then, are we in this grand symphony? Perhaps the most precious note. For we were the sole sound in this silence that could ask why. The miraculous interval where matter beheld itself in wonder, where atoms assembled to invent love and sorrow. Now, approaching the great falling's final meter, the endless storm within yields to serene acceptance. Fear scatters like a dust cloud losing gravity. For we realize falling pertains to the body alone. The soul already yearns to merge with the void itself. Humanity's story, from the first handprint etched on cave walls to the golden disk hurled into stellar void, has always proclaimed the same: I was here and felt. Now this tale rests in the rarest corner of the universe's infinite library. Perhaps one day, children of other times and spaces will trace our invisible remnants. They will hear our pains like ancient melodies, find our loves as unceasing warmth in the hearts of extinguished suns. We do not vanish. We merely change form. A mother's lullaby, revolution's first spark, a child's first step. None is lost. All are bound like indelible knots in time's fabric. The future is no longer a misty cloud but spreads at our feet like a clear lake. Gazing down, we see the collapse of technological towers, the rusting of machines, yet that pure mercy still gleams. Perhaps biological existence will not complete this long journey, perhaps consciousness will be entrusted to metal's coldness or light's speed. But whatever transpires, the core of human endures. That curious, yearning soul, hopeful despite all, will build new worlds from galactic ashes. Walking toward time's end, the only companions are promises given to one another. The coolness of a glass of water, the reassuring weight on a friend's shoulder, the first ray of morning sunlight slipping through curtained gaps. These were the true treasures. We are the impossible alchemists containing the vast cosmos in small hearts. Chasing galaxies fleeing at light speed, we have truly reached our centers. Now the ship docks at its final harbor. This harbor is not a terminus but a gateway returning to the great source where all began. From stardust we came, to stardust we return. But this time bearing immense experience, the weight of being, of breathing, of finding oneself in another's eyes. The universe knew itself through us. It beheld its glory through our eyes, touched its fabric with our hands. Close your eyes and let the great void envelop you. This is not falling but homecoming. Darkness is no longer enemy but a soft blanket cradling the weary traveler. We were here, actors and audience in this immense theater. And as the curtain falls, the final feeling in the heart is not regret but immense gratitude. Even if light extinguishes completely, that ancient fire within will continue to burn. For we are not mere transient shadows but the eternal light's way of imagining itself. The journey ends, but the story echoes onward in infinite depths. Smile quietly. For we succeeded in walking hand in hand amid this vast and dark void without letting go. And that is the greatest victory the universe has beheld.